8 die in separate accidents over the weekend. PNC seeks rebranding, and Repsol still hoping to strike oil. I am Rico Bulford, and this is Uncut News. To see what's happening, send us a tip on WhatsApp at 592-659-6151. Over the weekend, 3 separate road accidents resulted in the deaths of 8 young people, all aged 21 and younger. The accidents included 4 teenagers who died in a collision with a parked truck and concrete fence at Canal No. 2 Boulder on the West Bank. 3 more young people died in a crash at the Unity Public Road, Mahika, East Coast Demerara. Finally, a 19-year-old died in a collision between 2 motorcycles on the 11 Public Road, East Berbice. The president has since expressed deep concern over these events and has asked the Commissioner of Police Acting, Clifton Hicken, to create a new campaign to address the issue. Have you recently had a terrible experience at a clinic or health center in Guyana? Well, good news! The Ministry of Health has launched a complaints hotline for individuals who did not receive satisfactory service or was told prescribed drugs were not available at health centers or hospital pharmacies. The hotline, currently manned from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. on weekdays, is an initiative to gather data on the quality of health services provided by the state and identify areas for improvement, including inventory management problems. If you'd like that number, you can find it on their official website. Just letting you know, because they ain't paying me to promote it, just saying. In political news, the People's National Congress of Reform plans to hire an international public relations company for the 2025 general and regional elections in Ghana to challenge the PPP's administration's propaganda. PNCR leader Harvey Norton said the party has engaged a, quote, proper PR company, but did not provide details when he was speaking to a group of supporters in the diaspora in Maryland, the United States to be exact. The PNCR relies heavily on social media, while the PPP maximizes the use of state-owned media and has at least 10 other radio and television stations, online and hard copy news outfits that are sympathetic to its cause, according to Dennis Chabrol of Demerara Waves. And I'm just being honest, Dennis don't tell lies, and I agree with him on that. There's at least 10 other radio and television stations, online and hard copy news outfits that are sympathetic to the cause, as well as countless online pages that do their dirty work, working out of Freedom House presumably, but that's a conversation for another day. In less political news, the Protected Areas Commission has opened a new office in Lethem to strengthen its ability to monitor and carry out preservation activities in the nearby Kauniku Mountains protected area. The $60 million office will also lend support to the Conishen Amerindian Protected Area, which is primarily community managed. The chairman expressed the intention for the building to be used as an epicenter of knowledge sharing in biodiversity and conservation, as well as the inclusion and involvement of communities in achieving the goal outlined in the mandate of the PAC. Meanwhile, Sipol Narayan has been re-elected as president of GAWU, with Harvey Tambron as vice president and Aslam Singh as general secretary. The newly elected Central Executive Committee will be responsible for the day-to-day functioning of the union and providing leadership and guidance between meetings of the General Council.
Attention truck owners. Between potholes, bad drivers, and high fuel prices, you've got 99 problems to deal with. But with Powered Automotive, your engine ain't one. That's because they stock high-quality parts and spares you need at prices you can't beat. Visit them at Lot 491 EE Eccles, or call or WhatsApp them at telephone number 6970171. Save big on truck parts at Powered Automotive, the #1 heavy-duty truck parts store in Guyana.
Tired of waiting on hold, tracking down a delivery driver, or carrying cash for your food orders? GTEats is here to make your life easier. Guyana's first cashless food ordering and delivery app. Choose from Georgetown's top restaurants, pay securely with your card, and get your food delivered right to your doorstep. With the convenience of being able to order from your phone and the added feature of tracking your order, GTEats is the ultimate solution for all your food needs. Download the app on Apple and Android stores and start ordering the easy way today.
The police are currently investigating the murder of 35-year-old gold miner Stenson Rowland, who was stabbed to death at a local bar in Mbamadai Landing, Cayuni, Mazaruni. The suspect, known as Rohaman, fled the scene and is still at large. The police are currently investigating an armed robbery at a supermarket on the West Bank of Demerara, which resulted in the shooting of a police corporal. two identifiable men robbed the supermarket owner and a police corporal of cash and other items before escaping on a motorcycle. The corporal was shot in the leg and is now receiving treatment at the hospital. The investigations are ongoing. 42-year-old Sean Clark was charged with a cybercrime for publishing personal information of a woman with intent to cause public ridicule and emotional distress. He was granted bail of $60,000 and required to lodge his travel documents and report to CID headquarters every fortnight until his next court appearance on September the 11th. A 35-year-old gold miner died in a boat collision in the Mazaruni River. The crash involved two boats, with the victim being the only occupant of one of them. Efforts to locate him were unsuccessful, and his body was found on the riverbank the next day. The captain of the other boat was arrested as investigations continue. Now for today's oil update. Repsol has applied for a new exploration license for Guyana's Kanaku block, despite no commercial discoveries being made during its decade within the block. Tullow has notified the government of its intention to relinquish its stake in the block. If Repsol gets the block, it would have to operate under more stringent terms. The government is now more inclined to issue oil blocks to companies through competitive tender, having received criticism for issuing oil blocks through direct negotiations in the past.
It might not be robbery season, but the streets are still mean. That's why you need to get security for your home and business through Sheriff Security Service. Sheriff Security offers well-trained guards, armed and unarmed patrol, marine patrol, canine services. These people even got drones. Why? Because your security is their highest priority. You've seen the rest, now hire the best. Hire Sheriff Security Service today.
Now for our Uncut News Views Poll Question of the Day. Every day we post a question about current events in Ghana, the region, the diaspora, and how you fare it least was. On Friday I asked, how can we increase the rate at which people are given housing?
But before we get to that, I'm proud to announce our latest addition to the Noble Army, Richard Singh, who is supporting us at the reporter level, the highest level of monthly support we've received so far. So thank you, Richard Singh. And also, a special thank you to David Griffith, Dion Nascimento, Project Zero, and Dimitri V. I appreciate you all. And if you're watching at home and you'd like to support our movement, just hit the link in the video description.
Richie K says build more roads linking the major cities to each other. Indeed. GoldenEye says, I think they should set up a desk in the Ministry of Housing targeting people who already got land and get it dormant for extended periods and bring out a new rule, 1 lot per individual. Too many people in the system with more than one house or house lots, and they even lock it up after building and migrate. Sad reality, since 2008, they are an applicant waiting. Sadly, you are just one of thousands of others, but you have a good point there. In fact, I believe that already is a rule, it's just not being enforced. And finally, Randy J says, allocation of house lots at a faster rate would most certainly help, also at realistic pricing. It's ridiculous for a person who's working for a salary of under $100,000 a month, but the government sells a plot of land for $1 million. How does this even make any sense at all? They also wish that one day we'll get a government that really has the Guyanese people at heart, not mouth action, because what we have right now is not it. I agree with you, Randy. I'm also looking forward to such change. Now for tonight's question. The president wants the police commissioner to tackle unsafe driving in Ghana. What do you honestly suggest he even does? I want you to think about that question and tell us in the comments below. If your response is good enough, we just might feature it in our next episode. Anyway, that's all the time we have for tonight, and check us out tomorrow for another. Until then, I'm New Couple for saying good night, folks.